Today, I'm going to be creating a budget and finance section in my 2026 catch-all planner. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and I want to welcome you back to my channel. And yes, this is one of several setup videos for my 2026 planner. And today I'm going to be in my catch-all planner. This is a Hemlock and Oak vertical weekly planner. This is a B5 size. Yes, I already said during my lineup, it is outdated. I'll be redating them. But this planner actually has quite a bit of extra pages in here that I thought will be really easy to convert into a budget section. So let's kind of walk through what I'm thinking about doing. So first things first, what we're going to be doing today is back here. There's about 20 extra pages in the back here. You can see I've already kind of started brainstorming this. So I do want to leave, I think, one page blank at the very back. I might not need to, but I'm just going to do it just because. And then I think I'm going to kind of create, this is like the intro to my budget section. So I'm going to use stickers. These are from Live Love Posh's Budget Babe sticker book. I will flash my discount code up on the screen, and I do have my affiliate link down in the description box. But yeah, I'm going to do that. But then I'm also going to kind of carve out some space to set some like focus areas when it comes to my budget for 2026. It's not going to be anything super stringent. It's going to be just things that I want to keep in mind as I set quarterly goals or even monthly goals. I haven't quite figured out which way I want to go, especially in the finance category. I think every category is going to be different, but that's a completely different video. Here, what I'm going to be doing is drawing a calendar, and it's going to be pretty much like this. So in 2025, 2024, maybe even 2023, I can't remember, I did budgeting in the Happy Planner budgeting planner. And what I did at the beginning of every year is I just reworked a calendar, dated it 1 through 30, and then put the bill due dates on it because my bill due dates do not change. They're always the same every single month. The exception is if the bill due date falls on a weekend or a holiday, then it's the next business day. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to do one major calendar here, and then I'm going to fill it in off camera, but you kind of get the gist. But I'm going to hand draw it. I could have used stickers, but I really need to not put a big old full sticker page on here because I have a feeling this book is going to get pretty thick. Then what I'm going to do is I got to see something because I forgot about one thing. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bump all of this back. Okay, I'm not going to set up my quarterly sections. We'll do that on camera when I actually do the monthly setup as far as the budget section goes. I'll probably will do that every so often with you guys, but probably not every month because it gets a little repetitive. It's pretty much the same old, but I do want to kind of share some of that with you guys so at least you can kind of get the gist. All right, so this is how I'm going to do it. I forgot about one thing, but fortunately I have enough pages. So like I said, this is going to be my calendar. Then I need a place to capture my flex spending so I can keep track of that. So I'm going to put that here, and then I might use some of this other stuff for medical expenses too, because if I run out of flex spending, I want to keep track in one place to see how much I've actually spent, because that'll help me when I have to do flex spending again come July 1. Then we're going to do a quarterly pages. So just 2-page quarterlies like this. And the 2-page quarterlies are going to be like this. It's not really going to be my monthly budget, but what I'm going to do is my mortgage is pretty consistent. My mortgage will be the same through the first 3 quarters. It's the 4th quarter that'll change because that's when, you know, it resets and they start evaluating my escrow and see whether or not they need to raise or lower my overall monthly payments. So that's going to be consistent for the first 3. So I can like pencil in mortgage, things like that. Electricity is always going to be a kind of what if. So what I will do for the first quarter is I will do a first quarter estimate because it's going to be very similar. But that's what I'm going to kind of do. I'm going to kind of use this to break down all of my current expenses and then write down what the costs are or what the estimated cost will be. And then, you know, at the start of quarter 2, I'll do that too. I like doing it quarterly because a lot of my bills do change quarterly. Obviously, water increases during the summer. Electricity increases during the winter because of heat and stuff. So that's the reason why I do it quarterly instead of having one big annual page with everything in it. So that's how we're going to do it. And really quick, I hope you guys will still tune in come when I do the monthly setup. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what I'm thinking about doing for my monthly. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is how I brainstorm. So in between each month, there are 2 pages. So there's like, well, 4 pages technically. You have a review and an overview. So the way I'm going to do it, we'll just start with, here we go. So we'll start with the overview. So for January, I'm going to come in, I'm going to look. I even penciled in spaces for decor. So I'm going to cover up this question about what boundaries I'll set for myself and put stickers there. Then I'm going to cover up the habits and things like that and put stickers there. So that way I can actually decorate. Because my habits are going to be in another planner. And then boundaries, I'll also probably be in another planner. I do have a goal setting planner, so most of that's going to be in there. I'm thinking about keeping the self-care and then my intentions. I'm thinking it'd be kind of cool to have that there. And then we're going to kind of take it over. So that way I might do like might take the decorations over so it almost acts as a cover page too, because I don't have any tabs. I might put some on, we'll see. But this is where I might set some goals relating to budget and things of that nature. So again, the focus is going to be budget on these pages just because I don't really have another purpose for them. And like I said, I have a separate goals planner. So I think I'm going to set budget type things in here if I need to. Some months I might not want to. Then when you get to the end and the review pages, I am going to cover this up somehow, but I don't know yet. I still got some time to figure that out. Then we could see here's already some boxes here. I'm just going to mimic how that is divided down here. So that would be 4 categories here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here and have 4 more boxes over here. And then this one's going to be a long box and it's going to be my totals. So I like to do expenses by category. So this is where I'm going to actually record my monthly expenses minus bills, because again, they're going to be tracked in the back. But like essentials, non-essentials, crafts, social, and then others, things like that. These are just categories that I came up with while I was brainstorming. They are going to also change month by month. But I just kind of wanted to show you how I was planning on setting this up, because like I said, the setup of this is not going to happen until closer to the beginning of January. And just in case some of you out there wanted some ideas because you're going to get started early, I just wanted to hurry up and share that with you. All right, so I'm going to be using stickers from Live Love Posh, Budget Babe sticker book. I don't really use these very often, so this is the perfect opportunity to use it. This, I've already pulled some of them out. This is going on my calendar page, so we're going to shove that in there. What I'm going to do for my opening page is put these on, and I think there's are there quotes in here? No, but I think there's quotes on some of the sets. See, I might use some of this when I actually go into those monthly pages. I don't think I'm going to be using a lot of this stuff any other time. Yeah, see, there's some quotes here and things like that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and decorate some of this first because, you know, I want to make it look cute. All right, guys, so I'm not going to chat throughout this entire setup process, but I am going to pop in intermittently just to kind of explain how I'm going to use some of the boxes and some of the space that I'm going to create on the page, because ideas started coming to me as I started actually setting this up. So this page, which is going to be my title page, plus we'll call it my budgeting / financial intentions. I'm just going to title this on the page as 2026 finances, just because I don't want to use all my alphabet stickers that I own. So I figured that's a good enough title. But you'll see momentarily, I'll start adding boxes to the page. Now, my idea is to not fill in all of these boxes come January 1. I am going to fill in what I really feel like I want to fill in come January 1, which is probably only going to be 2 or 3. Because, 2026 is a really long year and things change throughout the year. And like things that I want to achieve financially, it's going to change throughout the year. So I don't want to load up on all of these intentions, at the very beginning of the year. I am going to probably want to set a savings goal at the beginning of the year, and I might want to set some other type of goal along those same lines at the beginning of the year. But other than that, I think I'm going to kind of just check in intermittently, see where I am, and then add something else. So maybe April 1st, I'll come in because that's like the start of the next quarter. Then I'll come back in July 1st, and then, I'll come in the fourth quarter and then complete the boxes. So that's kind of my thought process as far as filling this in. So, like I said, it's going to be used throughout the year rather than coming in and just filling everything out at the beginning. Now, this page is pretty self-explanatory just based on the calendar I shared with you guys at the beginning of the video. I will say, I really need to count the grids and mark them in my book because I did not do that. I went through the process of counting the grids like 5 times to make sure I was going to be making an even amount of squares. I wanted everything to be a perfect square within my calendar. And I didn't record how many grids are on the page at any point. So I'm going to have to continue to do this each time until I remember to write it down on a Post-it note and stick it in my planner. But yeah, so I just drew a calendar. That's it. Like I said, I'm going to just number it 1 through 30. Yes, I could have just wrote a list 1 through 30, or actually 1 through 31, and then wrote the bill dates. But I just like it. I like looking at it in the calendar format. Now, the one thing I do want to mention is you will notice I'm going to put some boxes. I'm going to put 2 boxes eventually where the car is. And that is because I have a specific date that my vehicle registration is due. And then I have a specific date, actually 2 dates that my auto insurance is due. And I want to write those dates here. I probably will also write them on my future calendar in the front of the planner, but I'm going to write those here. And then I'm also going to be writing when my homeowner's insurance renews. I probably will not be changing my homeowner's insurance, but I do like to know that date. So if I do want to shop around, then I know I need to shop around before a certain date. So that's the only thing I really wanted to check in about this page and state, because I did throw some random boxes on there and I figured I'll just tell you what they are. All right, and finally, I'm going to be setting up my Flex spending account page. This is something that I sign up for every year. For my work, it runs on a fiscal year, so it runs July 1 through June 30th. So I'm going to make 2 different tables here. One for the first half of the year and then one for the second half of the year, because I have to get down to a 0 balance by June 30th, and then it's going to replenish on July 1, depending upon how much I decide to put into my Flex spending account. But I'm just going to do a simple table, and it's just going to be the date, the title of the expense, the amount of the expense, and then an ongoing balance, because I need to keep track of how much money is still in my account at any given time. I will also add a few boxes to the bottoms of both tables. And for my January through June one, it is going to be the January start balance, because I've already been using my Flex spending account for 6 months. So I need to know where I'm starting at come the beginning of January. And then on the July through December table, it is going to be the ending balance come December 31st of next year. So that's why the boxes are there. Again, I just kind of wanted to mention that to you guys in case you were curious. But there really isn't much else to chat about for this one. So I'm going to go ahead, let you watch it, and then I will pop back in to wrap things up. All right, guys, that's a wrap. All of my annual budget pages are now set up in my catch-all planner. It wasn't that many. The one thing I do not have is a subscription page, and that is because I am going to be putting that in my future planning section here. So I'm going to be covering the calendars with washi CC, just in case I forget, you know. And then I'm just going to write subscriptions and things like that there as well. It's going to house other things. You can see I have a Post-it, but it is going to capture those subscriptions there. I figured let's just do it there. That way I can kind of move it if things change or something like that. And I don't have to keep scratching things out on a list format. But yeah, I'm glad with how everything turned out. I'm really glad I decorated it because I don't think I'm going to be able to do as much decorating on the weekly pages. So that means I'm going to be trying my best to add stickers to these overview review pages and these extra pages. It did turn out super cute though, right? So yeah, again, I did pull mostly from Budget Babe. That's where all of the decorative stickers came from. But I also pulled from Seasonal Love sticker books. I pulled from random months from either January through June or July through December for my alphabets, as well as the colorful boxes. But all of the neutral boxes I did pull from Mojo Jojo. These are some really old sticker books that I don't think are available anymore. But I will have my affiliate links down in the description box as well as my discount codes. I really do appreciate it if you would consider shopping through those links and use those discount codes. All right, guys. So, yeah, that's it for today. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it gave you some ideas. Obviously, if you have any extra pages in the back of your like bound planners, coil planners, or what have you, this could be a good option there. But if you're using rings or dish, you can just add note pages and create something similar instead of purchasing a separate budget planner. Like I said, I don't go crazy with budgeting, so I don't need as much space, which is why I think the pages that are available in this planner will work fine for me. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for my probably quarterly / January budget setup. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I will film that, and then I may do it once a quarter or every other month or something like that. We'll see. We'll see. You just never know. So who knows? I may be doing it every month. But right now I'm thinking, you know, we'll start out and I'll film something toward the end of December, sharing with you guys my actual like quarterly budget setup, as well as, you know, setting up some of the monthly overview pages and things like that. So, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That is all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.